good evening or good morning to Madam Salma. Alright, today we will present about the foreign professional or expatriate in Malaysia. Alright, so my name is Ahmad Fitry Syariqul. Next is Muhammad Hilmi, Muhammad Azsraf, and Muhammad Syahmi. Alright, next I will start about the introduction. It is our team members. Alright, I will start in introduction. Alright. In our assignment, we need to choose the multinational company that have in Malaysia. So we are decide to choose ERS company that involve with the solar power or electric industry. So the ERS energy company is multinational company which is his company in Malaysia, HQ in Malaysia, but he have company in another country such as Vietnam, Jakarta, Indonesia, in Jakarta, and so on. Alright. Next, the foreign employee is a person who are working in a country. They choose then his or her country or citizenship is considered as an expat. Okay, expatriate employee are often to work in another country temporarily. Expatriate employees are often sent abroad by a multinational employee to get a profit or non-profit on a long-term job assignment overseas. Alright, next. Alright, when it comes to expat workers, they earn more than they work at home and more than local employee. Furthermore, when to become an expat employee, the company will also give expat employee benefits such as recollection, assistance, and housing allowance. Expatriate has a lot of benefit from getting opportunity for a career advancement and a global exposure to living abroad and exploring exoticity and culture. In Malaysia, the occupation that hold by the professional and worker in 2019, foreign workers made up than 30% of the workforce in the agriculture sector, and more than 20% in more of construction and manufacturing sector. Almost half of the low-skilled workers in Malaysia were a foreign origin. For semi-skilled job, where the bulk of job are more than 1 in 10 work foreign workers. In another industry, for the professional are mostly work as lecturer, engineering, doctor, and many more. Alright, next I will pass to Syahmi.
So hi, before I start, my name is Mohamed Syahmi, and I'll be presenting about the issue and challenges faced by foreign professional or expatriate in Malaysia. There are a few issues that have been found, which is the first one is difficulty in understanding the indirect and non-confrontational behavior of Malaysian. So basically, Malaysians were known for being indirect and non-confrontational when expressing their personal opinion towards the others. So Malaysia indirect and non-confrontational behavior is also related to value of respect for seniors or elders, as well as avoiding embarrassment to others through the act of saving face. Malaysian, as an Asian community, tend to avoid conflict when interacting with others because most of us were raised that way. So as an outcome, Malaysians prefer to avoid confrontation over unpleasant issues. Due to this, expatriates found it difficult to engage in direct confrontation or discussion with the locals, especially when a problem arose and solution was required, because most of the time the locals' reaction will either be positive or neutral towards the issue at hand. The next point is being conscious of a religious issue. The majority of Malaysian are Malay Muslims, and as a result, Islamic religious restrictions have become ingrained in Malaysian practice and norm. So for expatriates who are being aware of this issue, they found themselves being cautious in their interaction with local Malays, whether at work or outside of work. So their need clarification must be made in order to reach an agreement on religious matters and avoid future misbehavior. They also need clarification on conflicting religious issues are sometimes required and limited to the expatriate themselves, but they should also be extended to their family members who live together in Malaysia. So for the third point, gender issue in expatriation, preconceived ideas about Western women expatriates. This is where when Westerners enters an Eastern society, one of the manifestation of difference is preconceived knowledge about Westerner, particularly about women. This knowledge is generated in variety of ways, the most common of which is through mass media. This is where, when dealing with an opposite sex, the women expatriate face a challenge due to their preconceived notion. Although women are given opportunity to work as expatriate in Malaysia, the opportunities are still limited due to difficulty in gathering a large number of female expatriates in corporate field. For the fourth point is Malaysian working habit. The majority of informant interview came from highly industrial nation, where people are accustomed to living in the fast lane and having more established and efficient public services. Because their previous working pattern different from the working style that they are currently experiencing in Malaysia, it has presented a challenge for majority of these expatriates here. So according to research, among the challenges are slow-paced working speed and inefficient service provided. So for the fifth point is high level of bureaucracy hinder job implementation. This is when people in high management position in their hierarchical position primarily gain strong control over workplace issue. As a result, in some cases, it disrupts the flow of work between locals and expatriate. Decision-making process and task completion time may be longer than expected. This was a challenge that expatriate faced as it required some cross-cultural negotiation skill to adjust and overcome any problem that arose. For them, as a leader in a project that they assign, a problem arises when the Malaysian subordinate do not complete their task on time due to the order given by the higher management team to complete another new task without first consulting the expatriate. The working habits of local appear to collide with the working habit of expatriates. This is because majority of expatriates come from developed country. The working pace is faster and their planning is more efficient. As a result, working in Malaysia appeared to be slower and less efficient, according to one of the informant. So lastly, cross-cultural training, the unavailability of structured cross-cultural training program. So this is another challenge where it's lacks of structured introductory training program for expatriate regarding Malaysian culture. The majority of them did not participate in any cross-cultural training program, but some did attend a brief debriefing session. However, it was primarily about the job requirement rather than their culture orientation. Cross-cultural training is critical for expatriate, as majority of whom he found unknowledgeable to participate in a cross-cultural awareness program in order to be well adjusted in a new culture. There's a need for a structured cross-cultural CCT training program, as expatriate will find it useful in and understanding Malaysian culture. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Alright, next is my part. Alright, what roles the Malaysian government to play this and to solve the issue and challenge faced by the foreign professional and expatriate? Alright, the first is government have made the facility for them, and this is established by the Talent Corp Foreign Talent Facilitation, as well as NIE or other approving agency collaborate to form a joint working committee expatriate. Okay, alright. This facility is set up by on 2012 because of to monitor all the expatriate that related on the with the policy and implementation. Alright. The objective of the company to make sure the effort and policy or program that can attract expatriate in country to ensure the implementation of initiative related to expatriate are executed obstinately and effectively by the agency, right, and private sector. All right, all these sector will play the big role to attract many expatriate employee to come in Malaysia, and every facility will help them to solve every issue that have been faced by them. All right, next, cross-cultural training. All right, every company must give the training to foreign employee on the cross-cultural training, and this is to ensure every employee can adapt and develop communication among employee. By educating the foreign employee with the cross-cultural training course and make the activities such as team building and communication program, company who have the cross-cultural training will become more competitive in global marketplace and will attract many foreign employee in Malaysia. Alright, cross-cultural training have two. Okay, the first is cross-cultural awareness training, and second is culture country specific training. Alright. Okay, for the first one, cross-cultural awareness training has a number to apply. This training is to introduce, analyze, and constructively tackle which the different manifesto of culture in the workplace. They are important to create the interpersonal interaction with people. Example, cross-cultural training team building will aim to team member awareness of each other in a mutual trust, respect team member and understand between each other. This training will make expatriate employee clear and understand on the communication. Alright. For the second is the cultural country training program. This program joined by the individual and teams that need to visit in Malaysia and need to interact in the client in Malaysia. This training will look on the Malaysia culture will cover such as value, morals, ethic, business, practice, etika, and protocol and negotiation style. The aim of such training is to better equip participants with the key skill that help in building successful business relationship. Alright, the next is low levy on foreign professional worker. Alright, this role is important because it will increase Malaysia economy. Alright, that is the income in Malaysia useful and progressive rate depending on how the employee will be working and the type how they're carrying out. The expatriate and foreign professional employee need to understand Malaysia tax structure. Government have made the low levy on foreign professional worker, and Malaysia is the tax friendly country, especially the expatriate country. Malaysia is the low tax in ASEAN. Alright, in Malaysia, they have visa that are popular that called M2H visa. This can open account anywhere in Malaysia, and foreign employee can bring the money like because the tax is free. Alright, the next is as the restriction on foreign employees such as agreement. When human resource from the company want to hire the employee, there are a number of requirements they must be met. Human resource from the company should be aware of restriction on hiring employees such as limiting hiring to manufacturing, construction, plantation, agriculture, and service sector. Employment of foreign workers are also the subject to quota requirement from the Ministry of Home Affairs. The employee must hold a relevant work permit and visa to enter Malaysia. The agreement or sponsorship process or work permit is application of foreign worker by approval. Alright. The next is the next is foreign professional or expatriate is exchange workers. Alright. The last government role play to play the issue and faced by the foreign and expatriate is exchange worker. The program of foreign exchange worker need to do because many company in Malaysia need extra manpower. The government has given the flexibility to employment to transfer the exchange their worker foreign worker. Deputy Plantation Industry and Minister Datuk Seri Wijek saying this initiative under the exchange the worker program was a short-term solution to help company and employees such as plantation and community sector. The government will also launch the illegal immigrant liberation plan, which start on November 60 and will last till June 30. There are two components is program rekalibrasi pulang and program rekalibrasi tenaga kerja. Alright, this program is to they allow illegal immigrant to return the home country voluntarily based on specific condition, while the program regularisasi tenaga is a special program to regularize illegal foreign worker in the country as a legitimate foreign workers employed by a qualified employee. All right, that's all for me.
So a very good evening to Dr. Umi Salma. My name is Muhammad Hilmi, and today I'm going to present about the issue and challenges faced by the foreign professional or expatriate based on the chosen multinational company. The first one is cultural adaptation, which is the expatriate will be difficult to adjust with the new environment because every country has their own culture and belief. So no matter you are, it is important to learn the new language and also to respect the local culture, because it is important, and other than that, it is also important for us to do a research for the culture and also the belief, so that it can the expatriate can cope much more fast, much more easier to cope with the new environment. So, and the next one is the language barrier, which is it is quite difficult for the expatriate to learn the new language, as the expatriate need to learn Vietnamese language, because of the location of this company that we choose is at Malaysia, Indonesia, and also Vietnam. For the Indonesia, there will be no any language barrier because they can understand English and also Bahasa Malaysia. But for the Vietnamese language, some of the employees cannot understand English, so that the expatriate need to learn the Vietnamese language so that they can communicate with the employees much more better, so that they can understand better. The next one is the financial problem, which is the expatriate need to consider the currency exchange because of the Malaysian ringgit is quite low than the US dollar, as the Vietnam country is prefer using the US dollar as a transaction, even though they have their own currency, which is the Vietnamese dong. And other than that, the expatriate also need to pay a lot of expenses, such as the food, the rent, the transportation, the utilities, and also etc. And the last one is the expatriate will be feeling lonely because they are far away from the family, friends, and also loved ones. Even though they have their co-workers, they can making a new friends, but it is totally different when you are working at the new countries, because when you are working at the new countries, it will be quite difficult for you, and you can feel lonely even though you have your own co-worker, you have co-workers and also making a new friends. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Next. Very good evening to Dr. Mi, and good evening to my team members. My name is Muhammad Azsraf bin Azhan. So I'm going to explain about recommendation and suggestion about this assignment. And what we learn about the professional foreign and also expatriate is that first and foremost, MNC's company and expatriate such a suggestion of the new environment also went of the culture that give a bit stressful. And as we discover, the suggestion that we can find is as the expatriate, is will decrease stress by providing a background information about the new culture. And we use example as the expatriate managers, which they will help to prepare for and adapt for the host country. So every country has their own foreign professional and expatriate. So the next recommendation for us to discover is our individual expatriate. So in the daily life, many MNCs companies and also international businesses, they are heavily influenced by their ability to communicate in a foreign language. Such as Hilmi has mentioned just now, language barrier is one of the key that cause the issues and the challenge of the MNC and expatriate. And how we solve this problem is by to understand the culture and also understand to ensure they're not being deceived by the locals. And the last recommendation that we discover is that expatriate, we use example as manager, they maintain the positive attitude to seek out the interact with the positive and experienced individuals in order to receive advice and support, which is the expatriate country. Many of society or the workers, employees, maybe do hardworking to ensure to define as they provoke them in any ways of their expertises. And as we mentioned, expatriate managers, they want to give their positive attitude towards the employees, towards their culture, and to maintain the local countries, to show how they are performing well in their country's perspective. So next, I will be presented my last slide, which is a conclusion. In conclusion, what we learned from this assignment is that we as a student, okay, based on the content of this assignment, we learn about the issues, the role in Malaysia country Expatriate, and also the issues, the challenges that we face about this country. So this assignment is what we call as a body of knowledge. As a student, the challenge that we face about the Expatriate and how we departure the training and help to mitigate this challenge. So as a young age, we learn how many organizations or MNC company, also international businesses, provide the training towards the employees and why some companies don't. So this is why, because many companies have affordable to conduct his employee well, or about the culture problems. So in this MNC, in this assignment, they are connected by how the things work within the culture. I think this assignment has shown us how this MNC, Expatriate and professional foreigners works in the local and also international for the country. I think that's all from us. Thank you for your time, Dr. Umi, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Madam.
Thank you.